everybody. Well, if it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Ow! What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? Thank you guys for stopping through to our Monday Motivational Power Talk with Jay Hunter Lee. I am Jay Hunter Lee, and I want to welcome you. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you really had a great weekend. And I hope your week last week was strong, prosperous, and successful. Thank you guys for stopping in. We want to get into our discussion tonight. This is kind of a weird discussion, but I think it's worth having. I'm gonna give you a little bit of history of my experience in this topic as we discovered as we talk about this. Want to say hello to Quintina Lee. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the compliment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Got my little pocket squares on point too. You know, you guys know how I am about my pocket square. The pocket square got to be on point. Well, oh, the handkerchief, right? I got a handkerchief right now. Got to be on point. And guys, remember, do not wear a suit without your handkerchief. Put a handkerchief in your suit, folks, or a pocket square. I have some strawberry lemonade today. I got it from Aldi's. Aldi's have some great stuff, folks. I get a lot of my organic foods and things like that. No gluten-free foods and stuff from out of Aldi. Really good stuff, man. Excuse me. And you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your health. You got to get in that gym. You got to work out, folks. You got to let your body do what's natural. If you put things in your body that is not natural, it's toxic. So stop putting toxic stuff in your body. Stop putting toxic stuff in your mind. You guys understand what I'm saying? We're going to have a good conversation tonight. Don't know how long it's going to last, but it's going to be a good conversation. And I have experience in what I'm getting ready to share with you. Before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that anyone who are holding any public office who feels the need to attack me or get upset with me or try to say some bad things about me, whether it's in private or in public, I want you guys to know that those people feel convicted by what I'm saying. And I'm speaking of those who hold any public office, any of the politicians. If they feel, that means that they feel convicted what I'm getting ready to share with you. And you guys know how I am. I bring it from the hip. I don't hold back. I don't have time to be politically correct. I still believe in living in the era where political correctness is total bullshit. I'm not going to sit here and cut cards. I'm not going to sit here and play games with anybody. I'm going to bring it to you from the hip. And long as you have seen me in my speaking form, I've always brought it from the hip. People who know me personally know that I will bring it from the hip. Whatever I need to say, I'm going to say it. Now, not to intentionally insult anybody. Of course, that's never my objective. But they say the truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. So there's going to be some pissed off people behind, probably some pissed off people behind what I'm going to say. But I'm going to tell you who's not going to be pissed off. People who are not holding public office, who appreciates what I'm getting ready to share with you. Those people won't be pissed off. And those are the people that I really care about. How about that? Right? So my topic is talking about dirty politicians and redistricting. And before I get into it, I want to give a shout out, folks. Let's get the likes up, folks. Let's start with that. Let's get the likes in. Come on, folks, get the likes up. I'm putting it on the line with this topic tonight. I'm putting it on the line, folks, with this topic tonight. So show me some love, show me some likes, some hearts, do whatever it is you need to do. Let's get these likes in there, folks. I want to give before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to those who was watching via Twitch. I want to give a shout out to those who was watching via YouTube and those who are watching via LinkedIn. I got to make sure I do this every time, is make sure I shout out to those people, because you guys don't see those people, right? So shout out to my folks on Twitch, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Also, those who are, now I do have a Facebook group called Tampa Bay Friends and Events that I normally air these videos in as I'm doing them live, but I did not include my Facebook group this time on this topic. Reason is because one of the rules I have set for that group is to not have politics involved in that group. So I don't allow people to post politics or political agendas or anything in that group. So as the owner and moderator of that group, I decided that since I'm going to be discussing some politics, I decided to not have this being live in that group. Leadership, you got to understand that you have to set by example. So if I'm not going to allow them, the people in my group, to post anything political, then I'm not going to do it either. Even though I have the power to do it, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that kind of guy. Also, those who are watching on my business page, and my J. Hunter Lee business page, and those of you who can follow that page as well. But I want to thank those who are watching on my J. Hunter Lee business page, because most of those people are overseas. Guinea, Bangladesh, Bangalore, Egypt, Libya, Nigeria, a lot of the African countries. Those people, somehow my page have gone viral over there. I think it's because my book went through Amazon, and then it went to Amazon Europe. So you got people over in Europe watching this page as well. So shout out to all of them, guys. Thank you guys for stopping in. I really, really, really appreciate it. So let's get into it. Come on, folks. Let's get the likes up. I see y'all watching. Come on, don't be nosy, folks. Click like. And I know it's my Black people. Click like, folks. Come on. One thing we need to learn how to do is just try to support one another, man. It's better than what we're doing. Okay. Willette says she's watching. Let's get it on. I'm glad you stopped through. Willette, thank you. Man, Willette, we inbox each other some real good information about what's going on around the world. So let's get into the conversation, folks. Now, as I talk about dirty politicians, the setup is supposed to be a bottoms up system. What do I mean by bottoms up system? Meaning the power comes from the bottom and goes up. It's not, the power is not at the top and goes down. Okay. Which means the public, we vote for politicians. The politicians work for the people. We are the people who make decisions of this country. We make our decisions based off of the vote, the power to vote. That's why politicians come knocking on your door every time it's time to vote. They don't knock on your door any other time. They don't knock on your door and say, "Hey, man, I want to give you a free turkey dinner." It's only when it's time to vote, okay? Because they need you to hire them to do a job for you. We don't live in this society anymore. The only thing that is still authentic in this system is the fact that you go and vote for somebody. Once they in office, Jack, the roles are shifted. And you know I'm right. But let's go into something that's called redistricting. Because redistricting also plays a part, where it doesn't play a part, but it's included in some of gentrification. You guys know what happens during gentrification. You guys know what gentrification means. It means someone's getting displaced. Communities are being revamped, remodeled, rebuilt, and sometimes torn down and then rebuilt back up again. And the people who moves in those communities are not the same as the people who were there before. They're higher income people, they're higher earners, high valued, or some people call them gentrifiers. They call them gentrifiers. They come in, they do their thing, they make a lot more money than the people who used to live there. In Washington, D.C., it's a community called Bury Farms. That was always known as the ghetto or the hood or a low income living area. They tore it completely down, and I saw a 3D image, a video, 3D video image of what it's going to look like, and it does not look anything like it used to be. I'm talking about nothing. It's going to be nothing but an attraction for high income earners to live in Bury Farms. I mean, can you imagine people who was making six figures or some multimillionaires living in Bury Farms? Because Bury Farms does not look like it used to. It will not look like it used to look. Also, keep in mind as I talk about this, they're called boundaries. Then you have natural boundaries. And what is a natural boundary? A natural boundary is a hard boundary versus a boundary that you can just shift on the map. Prime example, those of you who are watching me right now who lives in St. Petersburg, Florida, if you look at Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, Florida, Central Avenue goes straight down, up and down St. Petersburg, Florida. It divides the North St. Pete and South St. Pete. That is also known as natural boundary. I want to give a shout out to Ernisa Bonwell. Thank you, Ernisa, for stopping through. Appreciate you. Natural boundaries. Some natural boundaries can be water. Some natural boundaries can be water. Water can be a natural boundary that actually separates states. It can actually separate countries. An example of that, you have Egypt, then you have the other side of Egypt, it will be Jordan. What separates Egypt and Jordan is the Red Sea. What separates North Africa from France and Italy? The Mediterranean Sea. What separates Detroit and Windsor, Canada? I forgot the name of it. I think it's the Detroit River. There's a river that separates those. Those are natural boundaries, folks. Then you have some natural boundaries on a smaller level, on a lower level, like streets. If you're in Washington, D.C., you have South Capitol Street, you have North Capitol Street. Those are known to be like natural boundaries. And those natural boundaries can not only separate parts of the city in terms of north and the south or east and the west, but it also can separate districts, natural boundaries. Okay. Now you guys understand what that is before I can go forward with what I want to say. Now, we elect politicians. Now, what I'm going to share with you does not happen on a governor's level because the governor controls the entire state. This normally happens with people who own certain areas of a state, certain areas of a city, certain areas of a ward. If you're in a city that has wards, okay, more to smaller levels like council members or commissioners. I was a commissioner in DC, on ANC commissioner, advisory neighborhood commissioner in DC. Redistricting goes all the way down to those levels. Okay. Now, let me give a prime example. Now, first, as I share this with you folks, as I'm talking about this today, I do not have any particular politician in my mind or vision of their face in my mind as I say this. But if I was doing this video, East Capitol Street, that's right. Thank you, Willette. East Capitol Street is a natural boundary in DC. I'm talking about DC. Now, as I share this with you folks, I do not have any particular politician in mind. I'm not subliminally talking about any politician because I'm not in politics. I've been out of politics since I moved to Florida 8 years ago. I was done with it, done through, don't care about it. Now, if I would have done this video 10 years ago in 2012, if I did this video in 2012, I would have a whole lot of politicians in mind that I would be talking about. Because why is that? Because 2012 is when I was in the middle of holding a seat as a commissioner in DC, and I was on the redistricting board in DC as a commissioner. Why is that? Is because the board consists of two commissioners at the time. One commissioner was the chair of the commission that he in the commission of, and another commissioner was involved. So me at the time, not only that I was a commissioner, but I was the chairman of the board of the commissioners. ANC 8D. I was the chair 1 year. I served one term as a chair through my as a commissioner. 3 terms as a commissioner, 1 term as a chair of the commission. Okay. Here's what you got to understand, people. As I'm speaking to you, let me read real quick what Ernesta Barnwell is saying, because she's been in St. Pete and she understands these boundaries a lot. Used to occupy. Okay. District 70 is now District 62. Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ernesta Barnwell, for that, because you were right on board with what where I'm going. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So here's what you got to understand. When you have gentrification, let me tell you something. Now, let me give my example, because my example is going to pretty much help you guys see your area and what's going on in your area. Okay. Now, as a commissioner, each ANC commissioner serves around 2,000 constituents in their commission, in their single member district. We call it SMD, single member district. Okay. Each commissioner had, now over a 10-year span, things change. People move out, people move in that district. Communities gets torn down. New developments happens, whether it's new housing or new businesses. Okay. Now, let me give you an example of that. If I have 2,000 constituents that I serve as a commissioner, throughout that 10-year span, let's say 400 of my constituents leave my district. They move out. The development gets torn down. Something happens. It gets torn down and they want to do something else with it. So I lose 400 people. And let's just say it's the Census Bureau. See, this is what the Census Bureau is part of the reason of the Census Bureau. The Census Bureau will come around their time of the decade or whatever, and they do their census count. Census counts gets sent back in, and then your commission, that commissioner or those aldermen or those council members, they start to see where they have lost or gained residents in their district. Okay. Now, if my district fell 400 people short of 2,000, so what they'll do, they'll take some boundaries from another commissioner who may be over a couple of hundred, and versus on the other side of me might be another commissioner that could be over another 100 or a couple of hundred, and they'll try to move those boundaries over so that I can get that 2,000 constituent count, where that I'll be serving my 2,000 again. They could be over their 2,000 mark, so they may need to shed some fat, and some of that can be shifted over to another commissioner to gain. So your borders in your district may have shifted so that you now you take on some new commissioners. I mean, some new constituents, and those constituents may take on a new commissioner. So you reach out to these new people and say, hey, due to redistricting, I am now your new commissioner, You send letters out, welcome them. You start inviting them to your town hall meetings. You start to do all these things. Okay. That is how it's supposed to go. That is what redistricting is supposed to be about. But folks, you have dirty politicians that's doing it differently. And here's what I'm going to share with you. This is what this video was about, sharing with you what they're actually doing in this process. Now, to you, oh, we doing a redistricting. We want to make sure all the numbers are even across the board. Blah, 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 blah. Folks, when you when you have redistricting to come up again, new development happen, especially businesses. A lot of politicians want businesses in their districts. They want them. Hold on, let me check something out. This is pretty long, so bear with me, folks. This is someone who's watching via Twitch right now, Dark Saga. Yep. Correct. Correct. I didn't have any document, Dark Sage, to share with anybody because I've been doing some other stuff. But I'm glad you made that point. And folks, there is some documents in terms of look up the history of redistricting. Goes all the way back, like you say, go all the way back to Lincoln. Keep going back. So just keep watching that. Take a look at that stuff, and a lot of stuff that I'm sharing with you, you can find in the history of redistricting and what people are into, what they're up to. Okay. Yep, you're right. You're right. So listen, folks. If there's politicians who wants businesses in their district. In DC, there are a lot of people making deals who get free or under the table money. They make deals with developers. It's always developers. Pay attention to this. Now, let me tell you something, folks. If you are in a community that's getting gentrified and it doesn't seem like your elected politician is really being an advocate for you or doing something about it, they get money under the table. These developers are paying these people. Pay attention to these things. Also pay attention to when redistricting starts to take fold. Pay attention to what politicians all of a sudden moves and relocate to that particular area. You got to pay attention to these things. And when they move to this particular area, pay attention to who they appoint to be on the redistricting board before that redistricting takes place. Who is in bed with them? You're talking about a multi-million-dollar project of like a big old apartment building, a big high-rise building, getting ready to be developed. All of a sudden, you have a council member or somebody like that just moved over near that area where they can control the redistricting process because certain politicians want these businesses in their districts so they can have control over the businesses that goes on in their district. Now, let me tell you something, people. Some of them is not even concerned about the number of constituents that should be moved over to them so that they can have the amount or the correct number of constituents that they are over. They don't care about that. They care about the businesses that's in that district. They are willing to even go across natural boundaries to have some of these businesses in their district. When you find out who these people are, folks, trust and sure that these politicians are traitors. It's not about you. It's all about them. This is how they make their deals. This is how they get themselves in position to earn money, I won't say earn money, but to get under the table money from a lot of these developers. I'm telling you this because I have served on the board of redistricting in Washington, D.C. On the board of redistricting in Washington, D.C. 3 terms as a commissioner, 1 term as the chair of the commission. I have went back. I've heard one of the commissioners tell me they didn't want a particular district anymore, or they wasn't interested in a particular district that they didn't have to begin with because of a particular constituent that lived in that district that they did not want to deal with because that constituent put their feet to the fire. But I know that was the reason, but they didn't want to deal with that constituent because they hated that constituent. That constituent hated them. But it was business in that. It was a developing business called Trinity Plaza right on Atlantic Street in Washington, D.C. in Southwest. They didn't want that. But they said, Jay, I don't care. You can have that district because I don't want to deal with such and such. But that constituent that they hated loved me. Even though that wasn't even my district, that was a colleagues of mine's district. But the next redistricting meeting, that same commissioner lied. And I should have recorded her because she told me that in private. She lied in front of everybody and said the opposite to me in private. So you got to understand, folks, listen to these politicians. You got to have a recording device to record these people. Hold their feet to the fire. I didn't do that. And she came back and lied the next meeting and told me I was a lie. Told me I was a lie. And I said in front of everybody, I wish I had something to record you when you told me this. I said, who was Dick Clark that you was talking about? Did you tell me you didn't want to deal with him? That's why you didn't want that district. You didn't want part of that district in your new district in the redistricting? She lied. Folks, this person wanted Trinity Plaza that was being built by a church that was in that community. Wanted a piece of that. I don't know what kind of deals they were looking for. Maybe they're looking for a free apartment or something. I don't know. But you got to understand, folks, these politicians are using the power that you gave them for their own good. They're not using the power that you gave them to help uplift you, to help make life better for you. You got to pay attention to this, folks. And let me tell you something about my African-American country. We seem to keep voting for the same people or the same type of people over and over and over again. We're not looking at policy. We're looking at who's popular. And the result of that, it seems that we are the only group of ethnic race of people who votes against our own interest. And we wonder why we still stay poor year in, year out, keep getting gentrified year in and year out. Is because the people that you keep putting in office is the ones stabbing you in the back. The ones you keep putting in office are the ones who's making tons of money off the ignorance of the constituents. And when those who are smart enough to speak up against it, who try to highlight it, to try to exploit it, bad things happen to them people. Those politicians have used their power to make those people look so bad that the other people, the other constituents, don't sit back and say, wait a minute, why are they attacking this person so hard? Maybe it's some truth behind what this person is saying. Because if it was a lie, this person wouldn't have the need to attack them this hard. You got to use, folks, you got to understand, y'all not even playing checkers. Y'all playing fucking Connect Four. These folks, these politicians that you keep putting in their office, they're playing chess. You got to understand this. You got to understand this. And there's going to be some people who hold public office who probably see this video. They're probably going to get mad at me for it. And I want you to know something. If those people show up being pissed off at me, then you know they must be the people that I'm talking about. Because somebody who is a politician right now, who does not operate like this, will be thanking me for this video. See, there's a difference. You got to pay attention. Those will be thanking me for this video. I'm looking at Willette. I just saw Ernest Barnwell. Willette. See, now you guys see what I'm saying? Check. Look at what just popped up. This is Willette right here. She's a commissioner. I was a commissioner in Ward 8. She's a commissioner in Ward 7 in Washington, D.C. She still holds a position. Check out what she says. My second term is ANC 7D. We got screwed by a council member under the table deals at the time. This is from the corner of Benning Road, Minnesota, and Benning in Minnesota. That's right, Benning Road, Minnesota Avenue, which stretched along the river that was put into new 7F. See that, folks? She was in 7D. They moved something over to 7F. Big gentrification along the river, 2012. But we facility development and some of our seniors' neighbors were displaced through eminent domain. You guys see what I'm saying? You guys see what I'm saying? There it is right there. She just told you exactly what I'm saying to you right now. And she probably saw this video because she saw the title of it and she said, oh my God, oh my God. I know he's getting ready to speak my language. And just she's telling, come on, folks, let's get these likes up. Stop playing, folks. Let's get these likes up, folks. Let's get some hearts. Let's get some thumbs up. Let's get this thing on. Folks, I'm educating you. I'm putting it on the line for you. Get the likes up, folks. Stop playing with this thing. It's not a joke, man. It's not a joke. Right. She was an ANC at that time. Right. We were both serving as ANC commissioners in DC at that time. She said around 2012. That's right, because that's when the redistricting would happen in 2012. I was on the redistricting board as well in Ward 8, while she was on the redistricting board in Ward 7. Folks, I'm telling you, I don't make this shit up. She just bear witness to everything that I'm saying. So listen to me, folks. You got to understand these crooked ass politicians, folks. People want businesses. They don't want constituents. They want businesses in their development because they can go and make under the table deals with these developers and business owners. The hell with the constituents. They want what they want. And when you get this, folks, you got to understand that these people, these politicians are stabbing you in the back because they will let you get gentrified. I'm going to tell you who won't get gentrified. Those people won't get gentrified. Those people won't get gentrified. Man, you got council members, mayors. Look, take a look at. I want you guys to take a look at the average salaries. Look it up. Look up the average salaries of those politicians in your community, whether it's a council member or mayor, attorney general. Look up these salaries of these. You know you can do that. You can find out what these politicians, these people you voting for, you voting in office. You can look up their salaries. Look at their salaries, and then look at the homes they're living in. Some of them are living in multi-million-dollar mansions and only earning about $130,000 a year. Living in a multi-million-dollar mansion. Home is worth at least $1.2 million. Look at the income to ratio in your average. Contact your average lender and do the research, folks. Don't just Google every damn thing. Google don't tell you nothing. Go look up your lender, your local lender, and talk about their salary and ask this lender, with this salary, what type of home can somebody who's making this amount of money can afford? Look them up. Do your research. Take a look at the salary of these politicians you keep voting in the office. Then go to your average lender and say, hey, with this salary, if I made this salary, what type of home do you believe I can qualify for? Do your research, folks. You got people who making 100. These politicians don't make that much money. They don't make that much money. You got a councilman make $130,000 living in a $1.2 million home. Something wrong there. Where is other money coming from? You got a thing that's called earmarks. Take a look up earmarks. Earmark money. You got, take a look at your mayors. Why are your mayor living in a 1.5, 2 million dollar home? But she don't have the average salary of a mayor, does not support living in a 2 million dollar home. The same thing happened with this Black Lives Matter crap. They get $90 million off the backs of dead black men, black men and black women. Co-founders, I gotta say allegedly because we're podcasting, allegedly purchased $1 million homes. Come on, folks. Where's that money? They weren't millionaires before they started Black Lives Matter. Is this money helping the people who lost their loved ones due to gunshots of cops? How are these people taking this, whatever this money coming from, buying $6 million homes? And check it out. This is supposed to be Black Lives Matter. They buying these $1 million homes in white neighborhoods. Hello? And people always ask me and wonder why I don't follow these movements and organizations and NAAs and the CPs and the Black Caucus. I don't follow none of that shit, man. I don't follow no Black Lives. I don't follow none of that. Black people always want to follow stuff. And there is never a benefit for black people. Only the benefit for those who are in upper, higher positions in those organizations. Folks, you gotta wake the fuck up. You gotta wake up. You're a sleeping giant. Why do I call you a sleeping giant? Because when you become a free thinker, which we were at birth, you're a giant. You have all the ability to accomplish anything you want to accomplish in your life. All you have to do is go out there and get it. I ain't saying. I'm just saying. Wake up. Stop trying to follow all these movements. Create a movement for you and your family. And that should be the Family Thrive movement. Because we weren't made to survive, folks. We were made to thrive. And everybody that's out there surviving keep following these movements. And these movements ain't doing jack shit. I ain't saying. I'm just saying. Right. And the dysfunction. Right. Couldn't get our folks to think outside the box. Exactly. And see what's really going on. And this was a fellow commissioner there in another ward from where I was. Can't get people to think outside the box. They keep letting people think for them. They're stabbing them in the back. Oh my God, folks, when are you going to wake up, man? When are y'all going to wake up? Like I said to you, any politician that comes after me in anger from this video are the ones this video was talking about. The ones who mean well, who are doing to correct things, is going to thank me for making this video. And they're probably going to share the video because they want to make a point to people trying to tell them exactly what I'm sharing with you guys right now. You got to wake up, people. Because guess what? The way the economy is heading right now, the rich will become the new upper class. The upper class will become the new middle class. The middle class will become the new poor class. And the poor class, the current poor class, will die. When I say die, I mean literally die. Why are you going to die? Because you're going to find yourself surviving off eating foods that's bad for you. So your health is going to deteriorate at a faster rate than it would if you can afford to eat healthier foods. So you're going to die. But you don't have to. You can do something about it. Like Sister Willette just said, start thinking outside the box. As a matter of fact, stop. I don't even tell people to think outside the box anymore. I tell them they have to live outside the box. You have to live outside the box, folks. But of course, you got to think it first. Let the frontal lobe of your brain cause you to think outside that box, and let the motor cortex of the brain allows you to live outside that box. Move out of there, get out of there. And the matter of fact, burn the damn box down so you can't go back in. Wake up. Because this is redistricting. This is redistricting time. I know they're doing it in DC again right now. I don't know if they're redistricting in Florida right now. I don't know when they have started here in St. Pete. I don't know when they have started over across the water in Tampa yet. I don't know. I'm not involved in politics no more. But I'm sharing this with you guys because you all are constituents and you need to understand what the hell is going on. If you are seeing your local politician fighting over a business to be in their district rather than constituents, they're a traitor. Don't vote for them again. As a matter of fact, these redistricting hearings, you know they're public, they're access to the public. You can go to these hearings, folks. Go into these hearings and listen to these politicians argue over what businesses they want in their district. You're going to see 2 or 3 politicians arguing and fight. Some of them will almost come to blows over what businesses they want in their district. Did you guys know that? Find out your local redistricting hearings and go to those hearings. Let me hear what Sister Willette is sharing here. Right. Now listen, folks. Willette is in DC, and she mentioned Tampa because she has a son in Tampa. Went to school down here in Tampa. So her son is feeding. Her son is very bright, and he feeds her a lot of information as well. So those of you who are open, if you're over in Tampa, pay attention to this. Go to those redistricting hearings, folks. Folks, I'm telling you, go to those redistricting hearings because they could be playing a role or play a part to you getting displaced out of your community. It's important. Pay attention, folks. If you are seeing politicians argue over the businesses instead of arguing over the amount of constituents they supposed to have, focus on the constituents, politicians. Focus on the constituents. The people got to come first. You putting businesses before the people. That sucks. And the reason you putting businesses before the people because businesses you want the business to cut you side deals. You want to earn some percentages off of something. You want to get a free something. It's something you're working towards with those businesses. That's why you want them in your district. and you overlook and you forgot all about it's about constituents. It's supposed to be about constituents coming into your district because your district might have lacked the constituency over a 10-year span. So folks, you got to pay attention, man, because they don't care. They don't care. It's about them and them only and their family. The hell with your family. So go, again, I can't stress this enough. Go to these redistricting hearings, people, and pay attention to those hearings. Look at your map. Ask these politicians what they're discussing on that map. You should have an access to that map. You can ask them to give you a copy of that map so that you can look at the map while they're discussing these things. And you're going to hear them argue back and forth. I promise you, folks, inbox me when you see this. This is your homework. Go to your redistricting hearing and come back to me and talk to me in my inbox and let me know that I was right. When you start seeing them argue over the businesses that they want in their district, they want them in their district for a reason. They don't argue over constituency. They argue over the businesses for a reason. And you have a right to raise your hand in these hearings and ask them, why are you guys arguing over businesses to come to your district rather than constituents? Ask them that. Put their feet to the fire. Hold them accountable. And let them answer you in front of everybody and in front of their colleagues and in front of the people that they're fighting against to try to get those businesses in their district. Ask them that question because they're focusing on one part of their district, claiming that, oh, we don't have these constituents, so they fighting over this business in that area. But you got your back end of your district, but you can bring in more constituents on the back end. They're not talking about that because they want the businesses. That is, they want the businesses. And check out what Sister Willette just saying. She's a former commissioner. It was about business, yes. It was not about constituency back in 2012 and probably still going on now. Exactly. And I'm glad that you said it's probably still going on now because guess what? Another former colleague of mine who served as a commissioner back in 2012 when I served, and this was the time when I was the chair of the commission, was on the phone with me last night to tell me about now what they're doing because we're not on that board anymore because we're not commissioners. She was just telling me everything that they're doing. She had to write a letter and everything for the hearing to fight over the districting boundaries that they're trying to set because they got one part of the city, southeast side of DC, is trying to control businesses in the southwest side of the city. So we were on the phone for about almost 2 hours last night discussing all of this stuff. And I was giving her some contacts that she needed to contact to help her fight this. It's not right. You got to understand, people. You got to wake your asses up. Because Black folks, we've been asleep for far too long. It's time to wake up. So what is Willette saying? It was about land mass. Right. And so businesses in the land mass in order to get kickbacks and discounts. So keep an eye open. Yes. 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 Didn't I just tell y'all kickback money and discounts or free stuff or whatever? Didn't I just tell y'all that? She just said it. She just said it. Folks, I don't make this shit up. Y'all don't understand. Some of y'all are getting ready to get displaced with this gentrification crap. I mean, with this redistricting crap. And they're doing it in a way that's only going to benefit them, not to benefit the commission, the community, the constituents. So with that being said, folks, listen, I want you to do me a favor, folks. You're going to see something pop up on the bottom of the screen. And that is to give a small donation if you can. You don't have to. I'm just asking for $20 or less towards the podcast. What does that do? It helps to eventually have to replace a camera, light you see there, laptop you see down here. So That's all the donation is for. I'm not asking for anything over $20. Do not send me nothing over $20. I will reject it because I don't need your money. I'm okay with money. I'm only asking you to just donate $20 or less towards the podcast. It don't go to me. It's not for me. It's only for the podcast. If you guys can see, I got a backdrop here now. One of my companies here, logo. You see my logo on this side. Okay, see another logo over here. And you see the big logo. So listen, some of your money, your donations, help contribute towards this backdrop. You don't see this window behind me anymore. It used to be a window back here. So now I got that backdrop. So now that's what it's for. It's only for upgrades as they come or as they are needed. That's all I'm asking for that. You don't have to. You can give me $5 if you want, $6, whatever. Anything under 20, I'm not asking for a lot of money. Second favor I want to ask you to do is like, share, and subscribe. Let me say that again. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put it up on the screen here so you guys can see it. Like, share, and subscribe. Please do that. Get the likes up, folks. Let's click those likes in. Those of you on YouTube, please watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Watching on Twitch, subscribe. Watching on LinkedIn, like, I guess. But please do that, folks. I would greatly appreciate that. Now, I do have one last huge favor, and this favor is bigger than all of them. I'm going to tell you what that is. That favor, my friend, is to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. I am Jay Hunter Lee. I love you, and the world needs you, and it ain't nothing you can do about it. So stop that damn texting and driving. Let me see what Quintina Lee just had to say here. Thank you, Quintina. Very informative. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Quintina Lee. I very, very, very much appreciate that. So, folks, have a blessed day, and I will see you guys soon.